Good morning, Owls. This week we're going to be looking at reminding ourselves about dashes and then focusing on hyphens because they look very similar but they do two very different jobs. So we're going to begin by just reminding ourselves about dashes and how they're used. So dashes join two main clauses together. And we remembered we use them as a possibility when we could use a semicolon or a coordinating conjunction or sometimes pairs of brackets, or we could use a dash to separate those two main clauses. And we know it's a dash because when it's written, there's a space between the dash and the words either side of it. So have a look at these three sentences here. Each of them are made up of more than one clause, and therefore they could be split with a dash. So have a look and just remind yourself, where would the dash need to go in each of these sentences? So I'm going to move to the next slide. So if you want to pause the video or pause the slide at this moment, you can do. Okay. So we can see I have a brother is one clause. He is called Tom. That's one clause. So the dash goes in the middle to split them. And if you have a look at the dash, you can see there's a space between the R in brother and the H in he. So there's a gap either side. Second one, John sighed, dash, it had started to rain. Both sides of that sentence are main clauses. They make sense both sides. I love maple syrup on pancakes, dash, my sister prefers chocolate spread. Main clause either side, so we can use a dash to separate them. And again, have a look. There's a space either side of that dash between the clause. Now, hyphens, they look very similar, but they do a different job. Now, hyphens, rather than linking clauses together, actually link two words together to create a new single word. And normally they are adjectives that they find. They take two adjectives and put them together to create a new single adjective. They look like a dash. It's the straight line going across again horizontally, but there's no space between the hyphen and the words either side of it. So like the dash, we could see we could have the space between the words. The hyphen, they join together to make one single word with that hyphen in the middle. So let's just have a look at these descriptions. Okay. We've got the dark-haired girl, the blue-eyed man, the high-pressure job, and the expensive-looking watch. Now, at the moment, how they're written, the girl is being described as dark, and she's been described as haired, but as two separate adjectives. And you can hear both of them, they don't make sense. Exactly the same here. We've got the blue-eyed man. That's saying that the man is blue and he's got eyes. And that's not what we want. The third one, at the moment as it's written, describes the job as being high and the job as being pressure. But we don't want those two adjectives. And at the moment, we've got the watch as being expensive and the watch as being looking. And again, you can hear that doesn't make sense. So this is where we would use a hyphen to take those two adjectives and combine them to make one singular adjective. The dark-haired girl. Now that hyphen makes dark and haired join together as one description, dark-haired, meaning now her hair is dark. The dark-haired girl. Rather than being a blue man who has eyes, we've now got the blue-eyed man. So the man with blue eyes, the blue-eyed man. We've got the high-pressure job, so the job that is high-pressured. And we've got now the expensive-looking watch, and they join together to mean that the watch looks expensive. Now have a look carefully at them. The hyphen, you can see this time there's no space in the first one between the K in dark and the H in haired. So it becomes one single word, dark-haired, blue-eyed, high pressure, expensive looking. And it becomes one adjective. Now hyphens are really, really important because depending on where they are in a sentence, it can change the meaning of it. Now, these three sentences are the exact same words, but they've got three different meanings. So have a look at those three sentences and see if you can see what they're saying. We'll look at them in a second. So pause the video now, have a look at these three sentences. What's the difference between them? Okay, so the first one, the class had 39-year-olds with all of those words hyphenated together, means that is just one whole description. 39-year-olds, as in there are 39-year-old people in the class. 39-year-olds is one description now describing someone who is 39. So the class had people who were 39 years old in it. The second one has got 39 and then a space, year-olds, which means there are 39 people who are 1 year old. The class had 39 year-olds. So 39 goes together, year-olds goes together. And then the third one says the class had 30 9-year-olds. And you can hear the way that's spent. You've got the gap between the 30 and 9-year-olds is all one description. So there's 30 of them and they are 9 years old. So you can hear that the third one is probably going to be right, that the class had 30 9-year-olds in it, 30 people who are 9 years old, whereas it's probably not going to have 39-year-olds, people who are 39, or 39 people who are 1 year old for the second one. So those hyphens change the meaning of that sentence quite considerably. So over the next week, we're going to be looking at using hyphens within our writing, within our sentences. So have a practice. You can make up your own descriptions of anything and you can start to have a look at them. Just before we finish, and have a look at how hyphens have come up in the SAT style questions. Okay. So this one says, tick one box to show where a hyphen is needed in the sentence. You're looking for where do the words need to join together, and it only wants one, so have a look. So we've got the class teacher praised the well-behaved and helpful group of Year 6 children. Now, of those options, there is one where the adjective needs to be joined together, and that is well-behaved, because that is describing the children. They're not well and they're not behaved as two separate things. They are well-behaved. So the hyphen would go in the second box to make well-behaved one adjective. Okay, have a look at the second one and then again pause the video if you want some more time. I like this question. This one said insert one hyphen and one comma to accurately describe the grandmother. So my grandmother is a ballroom dancing champion, poet and singer. So where would the hyphen need to go? Where would the comma need to go? Okay, so for the description, we need the hyphen to make ballroom dancing one adjective. Because otherwise, you're describing your grandmother as a ballroom, as a room. That can't make sense. So she must be a ballroom dancing. So a hyphen must go between ballroom and dancing to make that one adjective. And now we need the comma because we've got a list here. And we're describing her as a ballroom dancing champion, comma, poet and singer. And you can now see when you've got the hyphen and the comma, it makes that list so much easier to read. My grandmother is a ballroom dancing champion, poet and singer. And then finally, this one wanted two hyphens in the correct places in the sentence below. So I'll read the sentence, read it carefully. Where would you put two hyphens to put some words together to make two different adjectives? So the children have been busy cooking some healthy, sugar-free snacks and learning some well-known traditional songs for visitors to enjoy. And again, if you want to pause the video there if you're not quite ready. So the two times we need hyphens to join those adjectives together are to make the adjective sugar-free and well-known, because they are sugar-free snacks, as in they're not sugar snacks and free snacks, they are sugar-free, free of sugar. And the traditional songs are not well and they're not known, they are well-known, which needs to go together as an adjective. So one hyphen between sugar and free, one hyphen between well and known. So over the week, we're going to be having a look at them. So good luck with them. If you're really struggling, let us know and we'll have a think about some more examples where we can practice together. Okay, good luck.